Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's the cooking nurse once again, and in today's video, like I had already told you, if you watched my previous shorts video, we're going to be making mandazi or shortcake or kangumu, whatever you call them. We used to call them muzahura if they were so big, but then in this recipe you are just free. Everything you need is how to make the dough and then how to prepare them. So I just hope you stick around until you get this rest, because they are perfect breakfast snacks for children who go to school. Anything you can do with these shortcakes is up to you, but just know they are super delicious. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing right now before we get into the cooking. And if you're a returning subscriber, just know I appreciate you. So we are going to start now, and all we need, very few ingredients. We have the main ingredient, which is baking powder, baking flour. We're going to be using azam, and then we have baking powder, we have salt, we have bicarbonate of soda, and then we have prestige, which is margarine. You can use butter if you don't have margarine. Then we have some vanilla flavoring. You can also do with or without this one. We have half a cup of sugar, normal sugar. We have a cup of warm milk, and then we have 5 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and then we have cooking oil. So that's all we have. Those are all we need. You can do without the powdered sugar. So we're just going to go in with all our dry ingredients and mix them together with the flour. It depends on how much mandazi you want to make, but I used about 4 cups of flour, and then these, like I'm going to put in the description box, their measurements. Please make sure you check them out. So after putting all the dry ingredients into the flour, I'm going to mix them up so that they are evenly distributed, and then I'll go in with the rest of the ingredients. So once all that is done, I'm going to go in with 1 tablespoon of vegetable cooking oil, then go in with my vanilla flavoring, and then I'll add in my butter. I just put about 2.5 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to use my hands to mix this mixture until they are like breadcrumbs, until all the butter is into the flour, it's all incorporated. And then because my milk is already warm, it is going to help it evenly distribute throughout the dough when I start kneading, or when I add the liquid ingredients. Now, as you can see, this part is also done. So I'll just go in with my warm milk. I'm using warm milk because it helps the sugar, the other grainy sugar, to dissolve real quick and then get incorporated well within the flour and everything else, without wasting a lot of time. Yep. So I'll use my hands and I'll knead this. Guys, the mandazi dough is really a lot of work, because it's not as soft as the chapati ones and soft as any other. So you're going to have to knead, you're going to work this dough for like 10 to 15 minutes until you have the perfect texture. So like you can see, this has been going for a long time, and that is the flavor, by the way, some of the color you're seeing there. So that's the texture we have. We are going to continue working it in the hand like that until we are sure that everything is well incorporated, and then we'll keep it down to rest for a little bit of some time, maybe 15 minutes, because it's not going to develop. There's not a lot to wait for, but we just don't want it this rough. So now 15 minutes later, as you can see, everything is well incorporated. The sugar has dissolved, the texture has changed, it's a bit soft now, and it is ready to fry. Onto our chopping board, we are going to divide this dough because it's a little bit big, and we will flatten it like you're going to see. I first use my hands to flatten the dough, but the good thing about the mandazi flour is it is less sticky and it does not retract. Like if you pull it, it barely goes back so quickly like the other chapati dough. So once all this is done, the flattening is done. It depends on how thick you want your mandazi to be, but then I would prefer, because we put in leaveners, I would prefer we just flatten it about 2 centimeters and then make these rough chops, and then you can chop whatever shape you want. Maybe if you're going to sell, but yeah, whatever shape you really want, just chop. How big, it depends on how much oil you have and how much fire you can control, because with this mandazi recipe it's really about patience, because as you can see now on the fire, our cooking oil is not hot. It's not like you put in something and it bubbles immediately. So it's not so cold and it's not hot. So you put in your mandazi and let the mandazi pick up the heat together with the oil. Very little heat if you want this flaky mandazi, not something that you're going to have brown on the inside and really not ready. I mean brown outside and not ready on the inside. So as you can see, it's going to take you some time, because these ones have to first raise up. They have to first pick up that small heat from one side until they are risen. So like you can see, these ones in the side are already rising. The 3 in the middle, they are still in the oil, and we just have to wait for them to get up, and then we'll be able to turn the other ones. So now look, you can see it's really low heat, the lowest heat you can. If you're using a charcoal stove, I would say maybe you have to remove almost all the charcoal and stay with the heat of that, and you keep on regulating until you have the perfect heat. If you're using firewood, much better, because then you can just pull out the firewood, stay with some charcoal, and then put in again and have some fire. So these ones are now ready to turn, because as you can see, they've risen from the bottom of the pan and they are on top, and if you can tell the bubbles, from the bubbles the fire is really low and they've started flaking already. So now we'll use our wooden stick and turn the mandazi upside down, and we're going to be doing this until they are all golden brown. This first batch didn't really rise a lot or like flake a lot, but they were really delicious. So yeah, you keep on turning like that until you have a perfect color, the color you want, that is golden brown. Then another thing, if you want them really cracked, you can just give them a cut before putting them in oil, in the middle or wherever you want it, and then put them in. So now, like you can see, the color has changed. This means they are all ready. So what do you do when these ones are ready? The first batch is ready and the oil is really hot. You're going to remove the fire after removing these ones, because of course they are now golden brown and they are ready from the inside, good to go. Remove them and then remove the heat, remove the oil from the heat. What I do usually is, when I put the oil down, instead of letting it lose the heat, I put in my second batch, but then with no fire, zero fire. And then when that second batch bubbles up, it comes up, it actually sometimes starts browning, then I put it back on the little fire, and then it picks up that little heat, and then they are also ready in no time. If you're using gas, much better, because you can regulate, put off, put on with much ease. So now our mandazi are ready, and if you are a parent, maybe your children love what they call daddies, these ones, the smaller ones, those ones, just throw one in the mouth and pop. This is how you're going to chop them. Small sizes, put them in the same way you're going to make you made the other mandazi. And once they are golden brown also, you serve them or you remove them from the cooking oil, and you're good to go, just like that. You can see how the smaller ones were so flaky because they were in the second batch. They are so hard, like they stayed hard, but then super soft on the inside. I hope this recipe helps a mother out there who's been struggling with breakfast ideas or anything. Maybe if you want to start a business also, because they said here where I stay. Yeah, I hope this recipe helps you, and also encourage you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as usual, I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.